Energetic analysis, for me, is the best way to work with neurotic questions. For me, it's the best way to do psychoanalysis because it takes in consideration that we are a unit made of body and mind, or body and soul. So it tried to put together this dichotomy that the culture created about body one side and soul the other side. And so the psychic and the somatic are one whole thing together. It has been an amazing experience for me. This is the second year I am coming here, and I am it's the second. We are finishing the second year that I am, since I start to train here, and it's a great experience, both because they are very connected and very interested in this knowledge, and most of them know loans from the books, yes, and they are very open to the teaching I have to give, and it's very exciting because they are very affective people, very open, and also very funny, and they remind me a lot. Although we are so different cultures, Russia and Brazil, although Russia is a very old culture and country, and we in Brazil are so young and new country, the happiness and the spontaneity we live in Brazil, I found it here too. It's very amazing how spontaneous such kind of serious and worker people can be too. It's for me, it's a surprise. I look forward to meet students in St. Petersburg because St. Petersburg has a name in the world. Yeah. And it's like an important goal to a person who is interested in culture, in art, to know St. Petersburg itself. And I hear that St. Petersburg has this special kind of being because it's a city nearby the sea, and I know that all cities nearby the sea has this special way of being. And besides this, I am very excited about to meet new students here with all this interest for bioenergetic, for what Loen is teaching. Because indeed I enjoy a lot to teach this. I enjoy to take care of people, but I enjoy also to teach how to take care of the people through this amazing technique that it's in one side looks very simple, but in the other side it's really very powerful. And to train people that really wants to make a change in her own inner life, it's very exciting. Yeah. He was a very energetic man, a man with a lot of willing to go forward, and he was a man of, he had a great passion for this he was doing. And anyone who was knowing him was very touched by his convictions, and he was very, I would say, very convicted about what the bioenergetic can do for himself. And one thing that made on me a big impression about him, it was the first time I was in a conference. I was yet very young, and I was in the beginning of my contact with the training. I went to a meeting that he was having with his trainees, a lot of international trainees, and some of the people were complaining or charging him why the organization of bioenergetic was not growing up fast and being commercial, how we say, profitable, and all this kind, because that association is doing that and that. And so he was very mad on these trainers, and he was saying something like this: I don't need to say to people what bioenergetic is going to do for them. Let them to see what bioenergetic does for you, and they will be willing to come to you to know this. And I was really very impressed with him, and though I know that we live in such a commercial world, and we need to do these advertisings and all this, it was very impressive, the belief that he had on this practicing. And after a lot of years that I spent doing my training, and after becoming an international trainer and getting old, of course, I realized that people that comes to me, they come to me because something that they see that I get from the work I do with myself. They don't come to me because I am important or because I have my name in some place. And I think that I don't need to advertise that my energy, the way I handle my life, is enough for them to say, okay, and the important thing is that the bioenergetic doesn't say to you as a therapist that you have to be a model of life. The model that you offer is the fact that you live your life as you can live your life. That means to help the patient to live his life as he can live his life, not like me, like the best of himself. And this is what I like in bioenergetic, that I don't need to make up myself. I don't need to sell myself like something that I am not. I am what I am, and who likes is coming to work with me. And this is the pleasure, to trigger on you the best of you can be you. No, the best Vladimir you can be, the best Sasha you can be, the best Alona you can be, because I am just the best Rebecca I can be. I cannot be other than this. And so this is what excites me and gives me pleasure and give me some rest, yes, and help me to deal with my conflicts, with my character, with my insatisfaction. Loen came to Brazil, I am not sure if several, oh yes, it was more than once. She came once and he made a big meeting that some people very, people that know how organize things brought him, and he gave a big conference in São Paulo, and after he was in Salvador, and so we start our first group in São Paulo, yes. And but I myself, before he came this time to Brazil, I went to New York and to meet him, and I did some work on myself with him, and I think that this led me to choose bioenergetic in order to work in this. My first formation and professional action was as a psychoanalyst. I was young and I was trying to be a psychoanalyst, and I liked the theory, but it was I was a very anxious person. Anxious, very tense and very worried and very low, and the contact with the patient through the psychoanalysis was kind of unsatisfactory for me. It was it always gave me this feeling that, oh, I am not doing nothing, and I was feeling myself very heavy and very not well succeed. And when I met Loen and I start to work with this moving my energy, and I start to understand how much I was seeking for movement and for walking and crying and laughing, and so I understood what was happening to me, that this is my kind of work, and I could use all the understanding I have about the analytical issues, yes, about the importance of the familiar dynamics of the first age of the children, and at the same time to learn to see this in the person's body, how it appears in the person's body. Not that I am reading and say you this, you that, but I get a feeling, and I get to touch the emotion of the person, and I get to put the person in contact with her early history, and this brings to her some connection and some discharge of holded emotions that free her for new ways to find the way of life. And yes, it was pretty amazing, my meeting with him. And after he came to Brazil and he gave to my group a workshop, and was really impressive, the connection with him. And I met him after a couple of time in conferences, and that is all. And when I turned myself an international trainee, he already was that. But I think that he brought some important light for our kind of work. for the psychotherapy approach. I don't know if there is just because the people that was working there, but it's not possible that it is. It is something to do with the Brazilian openness for this language, yes? And it was like something that spread all over, step by step, but in some intense velocity. It was keeping growing. It was not like grow and boom. It was growing and growing and growing. When we start in São Paulo, it was 90, okay, around 90, and we were a group all over. That were a group formed by people that came from several states of Brazil. Northeast, Minas Gerais, Rio de Janeiro, Salvador, Recife, okay. So we did our training, yes, as first group of this society. And we finished this first group, and each people in each state start to do some organization. They start to teach, they start to take care of people, and they start to grow. And they start to train people. And today, São Paulo, it's very big institute with several branches, several places.
In Moscow.
What?
In Moscow.
And in Moscow, and so why we came to Moscow? We came to Moscow because this deepness and this constancy that we are practicing this technique and developing the theory, yes, and going further than Lorenz went. Today we have several people that made some theses in the university. That means that came into the formal academy with Lorenz theory. That means we have some people with master degree, with doctor degree, about this theory. This is one thing. And we have a lot of people that start to apply this theory in other fields of knowledge, not only in the clinic. So there are people that take the bioenergetic and start to work in the organizational field of psychology. This kind of coaching, human research, yes? They are people that went with bioenergetic to the educational field, yes? There are people that went to work with those very poor and needy population. And what I mean is that the when you take a theory and start to apply in several places, it means that it makes sense, yes? So it's spreading all over this, and people start to do amazing works, different one, very nice applications. So that is what I can say about the Brazilian Institute, and I can say also that the bioenergetic community is an international community. Although Brazil has this, I don't know, maybe the biggest organization, but they are all over the world. They are in Europe several years already, and in America, all over the United States, in Canada, and yes. So, international trainer, he can come to every place. Yes, he is. What means he is an international trainer? Means that the training that this person gives has a recognition from the international organization. Yes, the international organization is an informal organization. It's not a formal one with how we say, with contracts and with all sort of commercial stuff, but it's a professional, and it's like the most the better example is an example that everyone knows, that is about the Psychoanalysis Association, that they are all over the world, but they are not a formal organization, but they are respected as some knowledge. Everyone recognizes that they have acknowledged, and so we are much more younger, but we are in this path of something that is work on oneself in order to grow and in order to teach other people. And I think that. No, but don't take me wrong. It can be also magical, because some sessions are magical. Are magical. If would not be no ethical, I would show some sessions and they can be magical. Yes, I really love this work. It's not. I am not kidding. Yes, I love it. When I teach bioenergetics, I always say to the people, I always break their hope that this will be something magical and quickly, and like 2 minutes make a new person. It's a process, it's a deep process, and as I said before, the exercise we use, they seem so simple that they can create a wrong understanding that it is easy to use them, or the opposite, that it's nothing. Yes, because they are a way to put a person in a very contact with his or her inner emotions and feelings, and this is not always welcome. So this is not like a plastic surgery. It is a soul plastic. It's like to make plastic in your soul. It's to reveal your inner way of being. So it's if you want to take care of people, if you, as a psychotherapist, you have to buy first the idea that you have to deep inside yourself. And the bioenergetic has this quality to make a deep intervention that is at the same time analytical, because its basis is the psychoanalysis, and at the same time it's very somatic, it's very in your body, it's very organic. And so I will to recommend to who is willing to come, that ask himself if he really wants to do this deep inside the journey.